champ now. Yes, I didn't say. What are you looking so sad about, champ?
I'm surprised. I mean, I'm really insulted. I mean, that's not right what you just said.
What do you mean? What I just said?
I mean, I'm getting a drink of water. I'm late getting on, but you talk. I said something about the greatest heavyweight champ, man. I'm a hometown man, and you talking about Joe Louis, man. Joe Louis wouldn't be nothing for me. Joe, I tell you, Joe, do you think you would have stood a chance with me?
Well, Clayton, one time during my career, I won a Formula One tour.
I would have been a bum compared to you.
What's happening, my people? It's Cat Sports again, back for another afternoon with the family. That's right. You know what time it is. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's the Boxtorian, bringing you all that boxing history. Boxing is the greatest sport of them all. That's why we love it. Can't get enough of it. Miss Cass, Ray Patterson, straight out of New Jersey. What's up, RP? Salute. Salute to everyone. And welcome to another episode of Cass Sports, the Boxtorian. Today, the best boxers by division. The best boxers by division today. Has the family today. It's Thursday. Getting deep up into this week. Big week of boxing history. Final presser today. Weigh in tomorrow. And then the big three-yard season takes place Saturday. We got a big show today. We're going to look at the best boxers in history by weight class again. I think we did that like last year. We're going to take another look at that. And then today we're going to look at the best boxers of all time by weight class. And then we're going to look at the best boxers by weight class for the last 25 years. Okay? And then we're going to look at staying with the lower weight classes where we were yesterday, who had the hardest punch of the fighters in the lower weight classes. And then we are going to look at the boxers who were best at making adjustments during fights, okay? All that today on Cast Sports, the Boxtorian, bringing you all that boxing history. So we almost there. We got 2 more wake-ups, Friday and Saturday, and then the big Riyadh season. Headlined by David Benavidez and Anthony Yarde, but that ain't the one we waiting for, okay? Everybody knows the one we waiting for. That's B. Norman and Devin Haney. Brian Norman Jr. and Devin Haney. That's the fight everybody been talking about since this card was signed, okay? Now, we've been talking about David Benavidez and Anthony Yarde, the headliner, but most of the attention been getting Brian Norman Jr. and Devin Haney. That's where most of the attention has been. I think 3 or 4 championship fights on the card. I know 4, because David Benavidez and Anthony Yarde, Devin and Brian Norman, Bam is for a title, and Abdullah Mason and Sam Noakes is for a title. So at least 4 championship fights on the card. It was another one before, but Beterbiev got off of it. So wow, this is going to be quite a card, certainly. Looking forward to it. We've been waiting on it, and now it's just about here. Okay. So yeah, we're going to look at the best boxers of all time in each weight division, and then we're going to look at the best boxers for the past 25 years in each weight division. I think one of them is the same all time in the past 25 years, but the rest of them are different, okay? But first, let's get into our fight of the day for today, okay? All right. Started out as usual. We're going to dig down into the archives and come up with a classic fight. Fight of the day. Okay, today's fight of the day is Oliver McCall versus Frank Bruno. September 2nd, 1995. Frank Bruno is, at long last, a champion. McCall versus Bruno. September 2nd, 1995. Frank Bruno is at long last a champion. Okay, let's get into the fight of the day so we can get to these all-time best fighters all time in every weight class and best fighters for the past 25 years. Okay? But first, got to have our fight of the day. McCall versus Bruno, 30 years ago, 1995. Now, for the heavyweight division, the 1990s were total chaos. A complete chronicle of that bizarre decade for the game's big men reads like a season-long script for a bad soap opera. Okay, yeah, check this out. The 90s were chaos for the heavyweight division. And arguably, the biggest upset of all time, Buster Douglas knocked out Mike Tyson. Okay, that's how the heavyweight division started that decade. Biggest upset of all time in sports. Buster Douglas knocked out Mike Tyson. Okay? Tyson then got charged with raping a beauty queen and went to prison. Okay? Evander Holyfield defeated an unfocused Douglas, who lay down on the mat and let the referee count him out. Holyfield then defended his title against a pair of pot-bellied men fighting in the wrong decade, George Foreman and Larry Holmes. Holyfield and Riddick Bowe battled 3 times before Andrew Golota ruined Bowe with his vicious attacks south of the border. Right? Yeah. Nick Siren, salute. Nick, how are you today? Yeah, going with our fighters today, starting out, but salute, Nick. Good to see you. Nick Siren. And our fighter of the day today is Riddick Bowe. No. Oliver McCall and Frank Bruno. But we talking about the chaotic decade of the 90s right now. Yeah, it was very chaotic. Started out with the biggest upset in sports. Buster Douglas knocked out Mike Tyson. Then Buster Douglas lay on the mat, let the referee count him out against Holyfield. Then Holyfield fought two men fighting in the wrong decade, George Foreman and Larry Holmes. So then that's where we are, right? Yeah, then Holyfield and Bowe had a trilogy. Bowe was ruined by Andrew Golota, kept going south of the border on Bowe with the low blows. And before that, Bowe had literally thrown one of his title belts in a garbage can as some kind of protest. And that belt ended up going to Lennox Lewis. Okay, just total chaos in that decade. And that's Oliver McCall. We come into that in Lennox Lewis. But just when it looked like Lennox Lewis might be headed for a defining showdown with Bowe, he lost to little known Oliver McCall. Yeah, that's that picture right there. That's Lennox on the mat. There's Oliver, right? Lennox lost to Oliver. Holyfield then lost to Michael Moorer before being diagnosed with a heart ailment, which was healed by a television evangelist. All this actually happened. His heart ailment was healed by a television evangelist, right? While McCall almost lost to Larry Holmes, one of the men fighting in the wrong decade, and then Moorer was then knocked out by a single punch from a 46-year-old George Foreman, right? That's craziness. There were 3 or 4 world title belts being passed around like party favors, and no one could keep track of who the real champion was. Heavyweight boxing in the 90s had officially become the Royal Wrestling Federation, impossible to take seriously. Yeah, it was total craziness. Now that's Frank Bruno, one of the guys in today's fight of the day, a young Frank Bruno. And he inspired fervent dreams for UK fight fans. Further, reflecting all this craziness was the career of England's Frank Bruno, a leading contender with a special talent for breaking the hearts of British fight fans. Now, Bruno had risen to prominence in the mid-'80s after he not only went undefeated in 21 straight fights, but won all of them by knockout, right? And the United Kingdom had, for generations, pined for a genuine heavyweight threat. After all, the country had up to that point produced only a single heavyweight champion, that being the great Bob Fitzsimmons, who won the title back in, wait for it, 1897. Yes, England, home of the Queensberry rules, had not had a heavyweight champion in almost a full century. Okay? Their last champion was in the 1897, and we were now in the 1990s. They hadn't had a heavyweight champion for an entire century. Now, during that time, Tommy Farr, Henry Cooper, and Richard Dunn, among others, had stoked the dreams and hopes of British fight fans, but none came close to bringing home the bacon. None of them. Yeah, there's Bob Fitzsimmons, their last heavyweight champion in 1897. We were now in the 1990s. Okay, so they wanted the heavyweight champion bad. The British did. Bad. Okay, and they got one. And the same fervent hopes were raised when Bruno, an impressively muscled athlete with a serious punch, mowed down opponent after opponent before enthusiastic crowds at Wembley Arena and Royal Albert Hall, right? He was mowing them down. Frank Bruno was. Now, the first time Frank broke his countrymen's hearts was in 1984, when American contender James Bone Crusher Smith journeyed to London. And the winner of this fight was to be in line for a shot at world champion Larry Holmes. So, for 9 rounds, the undefeated Bruno outboxed Bone Crusher, using his sharp jab to keep the bigger man at bay until, with just 2 minutes left in the fight, the clock struck 12, and Frank went down to the Bone Crusher's assault. Yeah, Frank was winning the fight, and with 2 minutes left, Bone Crusher got him out of there. Okay, that's Frank and Tim Witherspoon there. That's coming up. Now, Bruno regrouped and reeled off 7 straight wins, 6 by knockout, including a 1-round massacre of former champion Jerry Coetzee, before receiving his first ever chance at the world title in 1986 against Tim Witherspoon in front of a massive crowd at Wembley Stadium. Everyone primed to rejoice for their new hero, but instead it was Don King who celebrated. Their promoter waved American flags inside the ring as thousands of disconsolate fans filed out of the stadium after Witherspoon had knocked out a fading Bruno in round 11. So Bruno dashed their hopes again. Okay? But in losing, Frank Bruno only endeared himself even more to the British public. No one could question his effort and spirit, and the British people were charmed by his honest character and good humor. He was, if anything else, an even bigger attraction in his native land now. A point proven the following year, when he drew a mob of 40,000 fans and pocketed almost $2 million to pummel washed-up veteran Joe Bugner in a completely inconsequential fight. Meant absolutely nothing, beating Joe Bugner. Joe Bugner started in the 60s, fought through the greatest era of heavyweights in the 70s, and now Frank Bruno beats him in the 80s. Meant nothing. Yeah, but there they are. It was 1987. Bugner probably shouldn't even have still been in the ring at that point. But Frank got the win over him. Okay? So then, Bruno's drawing power earned him another chance at glory, this time in America. Fresh off his first-round demolition of Michael Spinks to unify the heavyweight crown, Mike Tyson defended against Bruno in 1989. And the stands at the Las Vegas Hilton Center were overflowing with patriotic, anthem-singing British fans who had made the journey across the pond to see their hero make history. It didn't happen. Despite being the first boxer to seriously hurt Iron Mike when he landed a thudding left hook in the opening round, the referee had to rescue a helpless Bruno from Tyson's assault in round 5. Okay? So, a long rest was in order, and following a 30-month layoff, during which Frank took up acting, the Pride of England embarked on a comeback, once again put together a string of wins which resurrected the hopes of his long-suffering fans. He came back from his comeback, put together a string of wins. It is him and Tyson there, but Mike had stopped him in Las Vegas. But he's back. He came back from that, okay? It was 1993, and by this time, England did finally have a heavyweight champion in the person of Lennox Lewis, who, while having developed as a boxer in Canada, had been born in England and retained his UK citizenship. But not surprisingly, British sports fans largely saw Bruno as their man, not the guy with the funny accent. And again, a massive crowd turned out to see if Frank could finally get the job done in the first ever heavyweight title fight between two British fighters. And once again, Bruno appeared on the cusp of glory as he gave as good as he got for 6 rounds. But in the 7th, Lewis struck with a shattering left hook, and Frank once again had to be saved by the referee. It is Lennox and Frank when Lennox stopped him. Yep. It was Lennox Lewis's turn to break Bruno's heart in 1993. Okay? To another disappointment for Frank. So by now, Bruno was a weathered veteran, a survivor, no longer the fresh-faced prospect who had excited his countrymen more than a decade earlier. So he beat a string of journeymen to keep himself in the mix. And then word came that yet another chance at a world title was to be Bruno's, okay? Oliver McCall had vanquished Lennox Lewis in 1994, then barely outpointed 45-year-old Holmes in a surprisingly competitive fight. So McCall needed a good payday and an easy win, and decided a used-up Bruno and a trip to Mario, England was just the ticket. Okay? So Frank gets another shot against Oliver McCall. Now, the moment McCall versus Bruno was signed and sealed, some of Bruno's compatriots expressed misgivings. There had already been far too much heartache for those of little faith, too many dashed hopes, which now made the prospect of cheering Bruno on yet again bittersweet. Okay? People were wondering, should we put our hopes behind this guy? He done disappointed us so many times, you know. But he's getting another shot, this time against Oliver McCall. And there's Bruno. His jab gave McCall all kinds of trouble throughout the fight. But they were wondering, wow, can Frank get it done this time? But come fight night, Frank Bruno showed how gallant and game his warrior heart remained. As from the opening bell, he took charge, snapping home his hard left jab and bullying a lethargic McCall about the ring. For 10 rounds, and to the growing apprehension of the huge London crowd, Bruno was the stronger and busier fighter, and the tension mounted. With each passing minute, the question on everyone's mind, will he cave in once again? Will he break our hearts once more? Aware he was hopelessly behind on points, McCall came alive in the championship rounds, and Bruno withstood some desperate moments as McCall threw everything he had at Bruno. Clinching at every opportunity, the massive crowd roaring, Bruno protected his fragile chin through the final 3 minutes as if it were a priceless porcelain artifact. And in the great relief of the huge throng in Wembley Stadium, Bruno survived to hit a final bell. Yep, he made it. And there it is, the celebration. Yet Bruno survived an unforgettable scene after the official announcement that Frank Bruno was the winner. Such was Bruno's effectiveness on this night that the announcement of the judge's decision was little more than a formality. But the goosebumps still arose when Jimmy Lennon Jr. declared for the winner and new WBC heavyweight champion, Frank Bruno. And as the crowd, Union Jacks held high, burst into a rousing rendition of Land of Hope and Glory, England put aside the fact Bruno hardly deserved to be considered the best heavyweight champion in the world, with Lennox Lewis, Riddick Bowe, Mike Tyson, Michael Moorer, and Evander Holyfield all still active and all ranked above Bruno. But the crowd chose instead to revel in the moment. If not for their nation, then for the model of perseverance and dedication that was Frank Bruno, who had hoped for so many years, and now, at long last, had seized the glory. Frank Bruno was now the champion. There you have it, the fight of the day. Frank Bruno finally won his title after so much heartbreak. Yep. Okay, so today it's going to be the best boxers by division of all time first. Okay. Best boxers by division is Muhammad Ali. And then of all time, then we're going to do the best boxers by division of the past 25 years. Okay. Got a couple things today. Yeah, but Frank Bruno, he persevered and finally got that title. Mm-hmm. But how's everybody this Thursday afternoon? We are getting close to the big fight this weekend. Riyadh season, 4 championship fights on the card. We're waiting for Devin and B. Norman. Coming up in a couple days, this Thursday. 2 more wake-ups, we're there. Okay, but let's take a look at the best boxers of all time by division. Okay, that's first. Got a couple things for you today. Best boxer of all time by division. Now look up any list of greatest fighters that ever lived. No doubt, you will find a mixture of different fighters from different weight classes. On many occasions, numbers 2 to 10 on those lists may vary dramatically, but the number 1 spot is rightly secured, in most of them by none other than the welterweight Sugar Ray Robinson. One can't say how a fighter for one weight class would have done at another division had he been bigger or weighed less. Those imaginations and comparisons are what led us to the popular concept of the pound for pound rankings, in which Sugar Ray Robinson also ranks number 1 of all time. But on this list today, we go away from the concept of pound for pound rankings and look back and give credit to the best fighters from each division ever produced. So let's get into it. Start with heavyweight, and that's Muhammad Ali. This is the best fighter from each division. Heavyweight, Muhammad Ali. Okay, there he is up there on the devil's thumbnail. Muhammad. Okay, give me for a moment. Okay, let's go. Muhammad Ali is number 1. I mean, a heavyweight, best heavyweight of all time. Let's talk about it. 56 wins, 5 losses, 37 by knockout. In his era, Ali defeated almost every known and respected heavyweight of that time. Ali fought during the time when being heavyweight champion really did mean something. Opposition was strong, and you always fought the best. Ali was dominant during the best time for heavyweight boxing ever, so it's only natural for him to go down as the greatest of them all. Aside from being fighter of the year multiple times, 6 times in all, that's the record. Okay? 6 times. He was also in some of the most entertaining and competitive fights in boxing history. Muhammad Ali, best heavyweight of all time. We go to cruiserweight. And that's Evander Holyfield. There's Holyfield fighting Mike Tyson. Final record, 44 wins, 10 losses, 29 knockouts for Evander Holyfield for his career. Thomas Hill. What's up, Thomas Hill? In the building. Just looking at the best boxer from each division, T. Hill, all time. Then we're going to look at the best boxer from each division for the last 25 years next, but now this is all time. Ali was heavyweight, and the next division is cruiserweight. Evander Holyfield is the best cruiserweight of all time. Talk about Evander briefly. He may be mostly remembered for his heavyweight fights against Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis, but his best years, without a doubt, were as a cruiserweight. Okay? During his time at the cruiserweight division, he was pretty much the owner of that division. Holyfield was dominant in every way at cruiserweight and went undefeated in the division. Okay? From the get-go of his career, he claimed wins over strong opposition such as Tyrone Booz, Dwight Muhammad Quali, Henry Tillman, Rick Parkey, and Ozzy Ocasio. Once he left the division, he left a legacy of basically being unbeatable in it. Yeah, cruiserweight, Evander Holyfield. Next, light heavyweight, the great Ezzard Charles. These are the best division by division. Light heavyweight, Ezzard Charles. 93 wins, 25 losses, 52 knockouts for Ezzard. Ezzard Charles was what could easily be considered a masterful boxer. He was fast, moved great, and had great footwork. Charles was also responsible for beautiful combinations, which were usually very accurate. In his prime, he was impressive in every way possible, not only looking good, but doing it against top opposition, such as Archie Moore, Jimmy Bivens, and Lloyd Marshall, just to name a few. Charles would also perform well at the heavyweight division, winning the heavyweight title in 1948 and defending it a total of 9 times. And he's the best light heavyweight ever, but actually never won the light heavyweight title. Won the heavyweight title. But still the tops at light heavyweight, okay? Super middleweight. Roy Jones Jr. These are the best ever, division by division. Super middleweight, Roy Jones Jr. Okay? Now this is subjective, of course, you know. Arnie Boxing in the building. Yeah, this is salute Arnie. The best division by division. So far we had Muhammad Ali at heavyweight. Evander Holyfield at cruiserweight. No, yeah, and Ezzard Charles at light heavyweight. Roy Jones Jr. at super middleweight. Okay, let's continue. Mike Rem in the building. I missed him. Oh, there's Mike. I missed him. I'm sorry, Mike. What's up, Mike Rem? Salute. I should have known Mike Rem was in here. Oh man, I'm gonna get fired for sure. Missing people like Mike Rem comes in the building. I hope Miss Cass ain't watching. Damn. But salute, Mike. Damn. Okay, we are at super middleweight. Roy Jones Jr. Okay, 54 wins, 8 losses, 40 knockouts. During his prime, no one was as impressive or made it look as easy as Roy Jones Jr. did. Jones was so dominant that he held a record-breaking 6 belts at the same time. Those were the WBC, WBA, IBF, IBO, NABF, WBF, and IBA. That's 7. WBC, WBA, IBF, IBO, NABF, WBF, IBA. That's 7. Need more to be said? In 2003, Jones looked even more impressive when he made boxing history by beating John Ruiz for the WBA heavyweight title, becoming the first middleweight to do so in over 100 years. Okay. Bob Fitzsimmons was the other one. He did it in 1897. Add to that being named Fighter of the Decade for the 1990s after achieving wins over legends such as James Lights Out Tony and the Executioner, Bernard Hopkins. Yeah, those were two big wins over those two. T. Hill said before, the Griffin debacle and the ascent and subsequent descent to heavyweight, Roy was the man. Yes, he was. Oh, you agree so far, T. Hill? Okay. You're probably not going to agree with this one. We're going to go to middleweight now. This is the first disagreement from T. Hill, I bet. Middleweight, Harry Greb. Harry Greb, middleweight. I know. It could have been Hagler, but Harry Greb. Let me tell you why, okay? Now, Harry Greb won 298 wins, 19 losses, okay? 298 wins, 19 losses. Part of what made Greb great was his toughness and aggressiveness. He fought an incredible over 300 times and against everyone considered good at the time. Part of what made Greb, everyone that was good at the time. This thing keeps jumping. But one thing was for sure, Harry Greb loved to fight. So much so that in 1919, he fought a total of 37 times. And in 1917, he fought a total of 37 times. And in 1919, he fought a total of 45 times, okay? So all he needed was 18 fights in 1918. That was 103 years. Greb was well known for not caring about opponents' weight. As a middleweight, he fought and beat light heavyweight champion Batlin Levinsky. He also defeated light heavyweight champions Jack Dillon and Willie Meehan. And Harry Greb didn't care a lot about the rules neither. Okay. Didn't care about what weight he was fighting against, and he didn't care a lot about the rules neither. But Harry Greb at middleweight. Yeah, 1919, Arnie. Yes, he did. And 37-0 a couple years before that. Yeah. I started to make it a tie at middleweight, but no ties. Got to be one. At junior middleweight, the hitman, Thomas Hearns. Yeah, the hitman. Right. He knew that before I even said it at junior. Okay. Thomas Hearns won 61 fights. He lost 5. He had 48 knockouts to his career. Now, the hitman won an impressive 8 titles in 6 weight classes. Along the line, he beat such names as Virgil Hill, Wilfred Benitez, and Roberto Duran. Part of Hearns' greatness was his willingness to fight the absolute best, okay? And to prove so, he fought a total of 21 world champions. 21. Okay? The hitman was famous and usually avoided for his great knockout punch, one of which can be seen in his fight against Roberto Duran. He would also go on to win Fighter of the Year in both 1980 and 1984. The hitman, junior middleweight. We can go ahead on past welterweight, but I'm not, but welterweight. Sugar Ray Robinson. Sugar Ray Robinson. Not Leonard. Robinson. Okay. Yeah, I thought you would have Hagler T. Hill. Yeah. I had to narrow it down to one. That's a tough one. Welterweight is Sugar Ray Robinson. I know there's no argument at all about that one. He could be it at middleweight too, but no. I got Greg Hagler and Carlos Monzon in front of Sugar Ray Robinson at middleweight, but welterweight, he was the man. 173 wins, 19 losses, and 108 knockouts. And I think he was like 90-something before when he first lost to Jake LaMotta. Won like 90-something straight fights. And he had in the 100 knockout club too. I think it was like 101. I know he's in the 100 knockout club. Yeah, Sugar Ray Robinson is. With all his other skills in the 100 knockout club too. This one is the easiest of them all. The man ranks as the best pound-for-pound fighter in the history of the sport. So it's only right that he ranks as the best welterweight of all time. It was at this division that Sugar Ray dominated the sport and made fans, media, and the world fall in love with him. Yeah, welterweight. He was impressively versatile, smooth, and a super gifted boxer. He had a quick jab alongside great knockout power. His effectiveness and dominance with both hands was incredibly overwhelming. Overall, Sugar Ray Robinson is the fighter that scientists would recreate if they could someday. See, if scientists was creating a boxer, it would be Sugar Ray Robinson. And after this, we got the best in each division for the past 25 years coming up next. This is all time here. Nix is the best in each division in the past 25 years, okay? From like 2000 to now. Or maybe 30, no, 25. 2000 to now, okay? Okay, we're at junior middleweight, junior welterweight. This was a tough one too, yeah. This might have been even tougher than Hagler and Greb. Between JCC and Pryor at junior welterweight, that was another one, was almost a tie, but you got to go with one. So junior welterweight, JCC. That was tough. 107 wins, 6 losses, 86 knockouts. That kind of like did it, 107 wins. 113 fights and still got over 80% knockout ratio. I think that's incredible right there. Think about that. 113 fights and still got 80% of his opponents out of there. That was the tipping point right there. That's incredible. Julio Cesar Chavez at junior welterweight. Yeah. Julio says career, but in the ring. Right. Yeah, Robinson was so ahead of his time, Arnie. Yeah, but JCC at junior welterweight. The Mexican legend, y'all gonna get y'all to about 3:30 to come up and tell me where I was wrong yet. Okay. The Mexican legend was a 6-time world champion in 3 weight divisions. With the concept of pound-for-pound rankings, Chavez dominated the list for many years. Yeah, that's the definition of pound-for-pound. 6-time champion in 3 weight divisions, okay? That's the textbook definition of it, right there. In a career that spanned over 25 years, Chavez ended up with an impressive record of 107-6. The most impressive part of the record is that fact that he went undefeated for the first 89 fights of his career. And it could be an asterisk. It is kind of like an asterisk by that, because a couple of them was very questionable. Named Sweet Pea and Meldrick Taylor. But officially, he won the first 89 fights of his career. Chavez is, without a doubt, considered one of the truly great fighters of all time, winning a total of 6 world titles, like I said, in 3 weight divisions. Along the line, he beat many great champions such as Meldrick Taylor, Sammy Fuentes, Hector Camacho, Edwin Rosario, Tony Lopez, Frankie Randall, and Roger Mayweather, just to name a few. Late 80s, 90s, around lightweight, junior welterweight, that's the cream of the crop right there. Meldrick Taylor, Sammy Fuentes, Hector Camacho, Edwin Rosario, Tony Lopez, Frankie Randall, Roger Mayweather. JCC beat all of them. Y'all already know at lightweight. Y'all already know the best of all time at lightweight. That's why it didn't change. The Hands of Stone, Roberto Duran. 103 wins, 16 losses, 70 knockouts. Has he retired yet? Might be still fighting down there in Panama somewhere. The Drunk Irishman in the building. What's up, Drunk Irishman? We're looking at the best division by division of all time. And then we're going to look at the best of the last 25 years next. And then we're going to definitely got to get some link time today. Okay, so let's get to lightweight, Roberto Duran. I know everybody agrees on that one. If it wasn't him, it was Benny Leonard, trained by the same man, like 50 years apart. That's crazy. We are cell trained, both of them. One fought in the 20s, one fought in the 70s and 80s. The same man trained them. Unbelievable. Now, the Hands of Stone is one of the greatest fighters to ever lace up a pair of gloves. During his great career, he was simply the best lightweight champion the world has ever seen. Duran easily ranks in the top 10 best fighters of all time on almost everyone's list. Without a doubt, his best years came at the lightweight division, in which he was the king, Roberto Duran. Junior lightweight, this is another no-brainer. These two were the easiest of all. Well, the heavyweight too, Muhammad, but these two were two of the easiest of all. Duran at lightweight and junior lightweight. The explosive thin man. That ain't even him. There he is. The explosive thin man at junior lightweight, 130. You know, you talk about natural divisions. Duran at lightweight, Arguello at junior lightweight. And they was in talks to fight, but it never happened. I guess it would have been at lightweight, because Duran probably couldn't have made junior lightweight at that point, because he was getting ready to go up to welterweight. But yeah, because he went straight from lightweight to welterweight to fight Sugar Ray. And Arguello, they had been in talks before that, but it never happened. Arguello and Roberto Duran. Wow, that would have been something. I would have had to pick Duran though. But it would have been a good fight. I might watch that every day if that had happened. Roberto Duran and Alexis Arguello. That would be on the menu for every day. Watch Arguello and Duran fight. But Arguello was 77 wins, he had 8 losses, and he had 62 knockouts. Yeah, for the explosive thin man. Two of the great nicknames too. The Hands of Stone and the explosive thin man. That would have been. So yeah, in any era, you never got all the fights you wanted, but you know, they fought right in the same era. I think Arguello started that's an 80% knockout ratio. I think they started like a year apart. I think Arguello was first. It was a year before Duran, or Duran was a year before Arguello, but I know they was right there together. Al Booger in the building. What's up, Al Booger? How are you today, my friend? Best fighter in every division, Al Booger. And then we're gonna do the best of the past 25 years by division. That should take us to about 2:30-ish or something like that. But yeah, salute Al Booger. We are at junior lightweight, Alexis Arguello, the explosive thin man. The explosive thin man was a beauty to watch. At 5'10", he had great height for a junior lightweight, possessed great boxing abilities, and although he was thin, he packed one hell of a punch, okay? His punches were always efficient. His boxing IQ was extremely good. He had a great arsenal of combinations. And if you made a mistake against him, he would make you pay. During his reign at junior lightweight, there was simply no one more dominant ever, okay? In 2009, after retiring and having a successful political career, Arguello unfortunately committed suicide. He was also in talks with Salvador Sanchez. That would have been another one I would have to watch every day. And they all fought in the same era. If Sanchez would have lived, he probably wouldn't have fought Duran because Duran was going the other way, going up too fast for Salvador. But him and Arguello would have fought. They were in talks. Before, right around the time Salvador had the accident. Now, if Salvador hadn't died at 23, he probably would have it at featherweight. But since he didn't have a complete career, it's got to be Willie Pep. And even if Salvador had a complete career, it still might be Willie Pep. Because Willie Pep was the man. 229 wins, just 241 fights, just 11 losses. 229 and 11, 65 knockouts. And he won like his first 60-something fights, lost one, and then won 70-something more. He was like 130-something and won at one point in his career. The Will O' the Wisp, Willie Pep. Yep. Okay. Now, Willie Pep is the most creative fighter that ever lived. In his prime, the man known as Will O' the Wisp possessed both an offensive and defensive ability combination that was a beauty to watch. His intelligence inside the ring can also rank as one of the best, if not best of all time. He was like a ghost in there, man. Watching Willie Pep fight was like fighting a ghost. That describes him. Kind of like Charles Burley, you know. They be right there in front of you. Next thing you know, they on the other side of you. Next thing you know, they over on the other side. Yeah, it was amazing. Throughout his entire career, Pep faced strong and top opposition on a consistent basis, sometimes even fighting twice a week. While doing so, he managed to accumulate a super impressive record of 229 and 11. And his first, like he fought 60-something times, had their first loss. He was so upset by that loss, wanted to get back in the ring column. His next fight was the next week, okay? And he got a win. He said, I got to get back in the winning column, so he fought next week, a professional fight the next week. It's another no-brainer. Junior featherweight, 122. Wilfredo Gomez on the right. Yeah, Wilfredo Gomez. Okay, yeah, the Drunk Irishman got a link in there for us to check out. Okay, Wilfredo, salute the Drunk Irishman. Wilfredo Gomez, 44 wins, 3 losses, and 42 knockouts, 90-something%. His first 30-something was knockouts. 42 wins, 40 knockouts. Incredible. That's 95.2%. Wilfredo Gomez, the best 122-pounder ever, junior featherweight, super bantamweight. Wilfredo Gomez had a perfect combination of skills and aggressiveness. He possessed great defensive abilities and was exceptionally wonderful. He was a champion in 3 different weight classes, but his best was by far 122, this one here. Bantamweight, 118. Yeah, we were saying this yesterday. Ida Joffre, remember? Yeah, best bantamweight ever from Brazil. It's always hard to remember that, but Brazil. He won 72, lost 2, 50 knockouts. Ida Joffre never stopped in 74 fights. Never stopped. Both losses to the Fighting Geraldo. That's a Hiko Geraldo, something like that. That's a Chico. No, his last name is Geraldo. Fighting, not his first name. That was his nickname. The Fighting Geraldo. So I don't know his first name. Somebody said it's Fighting. Okay. Ida Joffre from Brazil. Greatest boxer to ever come out of Brazil. Joffre was truly one of the greats. He packed one hell of a punch and landed them pretty often. Now, he was smart, had great skills, and was good defensively too, right? He could box fighters or get into a brawl. Either way, he was as bad as anyone. He also had an iron chin and a great gas tank, which made exchanges with him a nightmare, that iron chin, right? And yeah, chin, gas tank, that puts you in every fight, right? Chin and gas tank. Nobody can hurt you, and you got that energy to go 12 rounds. Junior bantamweight, 115, right? Kosai Galaxy. I know his last name is Galaxy. Kosai. I think that's right. Let me see what y'all think. K-H-A. Or Kosai Galaxy. K-H-O-S-A-I-G-A-L-A-X-Y. There it is. Kosai Galaxy, is that it? Kosai? Okay. But Galaxy, he's the best junior bantamweight ever, 115 pounds. There he is, Mr. Galaxy. Now he won 47. He lost 1. Had a 41% knockout ratio. I'm not gonna worry about knockout ratios. It's throwing me up. But I know it's over 80. Galaxy was a slick southpaw with great punching power and boxing abilities in every part of the game. In his career, he defended his belt an impressive 19 times. I think that might be the record at 115. He was an impressive fighter who provided great entertainment for boxing fans for many years. He ranks among the best to ever do so. With his great boxing abilities and determination, he was only defeated once in his long career. 48 fights, 1 loss. Okay. Junior flyweight is that 108? Oh, flyweight. I missed one. Flyweight. Yeah, here we go. That's Jimmy Wald, the Mighty Atom, or the ghost with a hammer in his hand. That's what they called him. Jimmy Wald. The Wald was a Welsh boxer and world flyweight champion who competed from 1911 to 1923. He was known as the Mighty Atom or the ghost with the hammer in his hand, right? Wald held the British flyweight title and the world flyweight title simultaneously. Often regarded as the greatest British fighter of all time, right? He was the first official world flyweight champion. And it was rated by American boxing writer Ned Fleischer, founder of Ring Magazine, as well as many other professionals and fans, including former boxer, trainer, manager, and promoter Charlie Rose, big-time historian Charlie Rose. He was thought of as those people as the greatest flyweight boxer ever. Wald had bludgeoning punching power, and while reigning as the world's greatest flyweight world champion, he would often take on bantamweights and even featherweights and knock them out, both of them, bantamweights and featherweights. And he was, flyweight limit is 112, but he was always right around 100 pounds because flyweight was the first class. They didn't have minimum weight 105 and junior flyweight 108 when he fought. Because he started fighting at 98 pounds, so he always was like 100 pounds, but flyweight was the lowest weight class, so that's where he fought at. And he's like top 5 pound for pound all time on Ring Magazine punches. This little flyweight, okay? Like we was talking about yesterday. That's a myth about these lower weight classes don't have no pop and all that. Yeah. The Mini Mike, that's right, the drunk Irishman. The Mini Mike. Yep. So we are down to junior flyweight now. That was the Mighty Atom. Chang Jung Koo. Okay, there he is. Thai fighter. Oh shoot, I didn't have Jimmy Wald's record, but that's okay. Chang Jung Koo was 38 wins, 7 losses, and he had 17 knockouts. They called him the Korean Hawk. Yeah, Korean Hawk. He was a beast inside of the ring. He was relentless when it came to brawling. He had a great combination of foot speed along with accurate punching, which made him the great champion that he was. Now, during his career, he developed his title he defended his title a total of 16 times and is ranked amongst the best fighters of all time on many lists. And minimum weight is another one that was a no-brainer. One of the easiest ones of them all. Finito. Ricardo Lopez, remember? And Finito was 51-0 with one draw, okay? And Finito was never the same level of popularity as countryman Julio Cesar Chavez, who is also on this list, right? Yeah, because if Finito fought up at 126, 130, he would be a household name, okay? Yeah, he's not the same popularity as Chavez for the simple reason that he fought at the minimum weight division, 105 pounds, right? This is a division that not many people are even aware of. Regardless, it was impossible to ignore the skills, knockout power, ring intelligence, and undefeated record that Lopez had during a truly great 16-year career, okay? 16 years. Most people will remember Lopez for his dedication to the sport of boxing, his discipline in the ring, the quality and beauty of his skill, the many title defenses he had, and the great combination of punching power and technical excellence he had in the ring. And I think he had like 21 consecutive title defenses, the record at minimum weight. So let's look at now division by division best for the last 25 years, okay, from 2000 up to now. We're gonna look at the best division by division from 2000 to 2025 currently. So that heavyweight work our way down. That's Vitaly. That's not Vladimir, that's Vitaly. I think. Yeah, that's Vitaly. Yeah. Vitaly at heavyweight for the last 25 years. Vitaly Klitschko. I used to call him Vitaly. It's Vitaly, right? Not Vitaly. Yeah, it's called the man Vitaly. Vitaly. Okay. Yeah, he's a representative at heavyweight for the past 25 years. Okay. Vitaly Klitschko. Okay. There we go. Now, he represented Ukraine at the 1996 Summer Olympics in Atlanta, winning the gold medal in the super heavyweight division. He earned the WBO heavyweight world title, beating two-time heavyweight champion Chris Bird in 2000. Later, he suffered two devastating knockout losses to Corey Sanders in 2003 and Lamont Brewster in 2004. Now, following both upset defeats, it appeared that he had seen his best days. Only it was just the beginning. He went on to have the second longest heavyweight title reign in boxing history, next to Joe Louis. Klitschko's reign lasted over 9 years, from April 2006 to November 2015, while Louis held his for almost 12 years, from June 37 to March 49. Now, Klitschko made 18 consecutive defenses, and Louis defended his title 25 straight times. With respect to longevity, Klitschko stands alone of the best heavyweights in history, alongside Hall of Famers such as Larry Holmes, 20 defenses, Muhammad Ali, 19 total defenses, and Joe Louis. Many criticize Klitschko for his glacial fighting style, measuring out opponents with his lead hand and immediately clinching while on the inside, okay? These criticisms immediately went out the window when he made a valiant effort against then current WBA, IBF, and WBO champion Anthony Joshua. It was universally recognized. He was universally recognized as the 2017 Fighter of the Year, as Klitschko came back after being knocked down and scored a knockdown himself. Despite losing by TKO in round 11, fans greatly respected Klitschko for what he did that night, against Joshua. He's a member of the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Cruiserweight is Alexander Usyk for the last 25 years. Holyfield got all time, but got to give it to Usyk for the last 20. Well, he ain't fought 25 years, but from 2000 to 2025, Usyk. Alexander Usyk. Thing? Okay. Yeah, we almost had fight day though. Just a couple of days now. Alexander Usyk. Have they had that press conference yet? I know the final press conference is today. It's in Saudi Arabia, so I don't know how their time is over there. I think they're in front of us, though. I don't know how their time goes. Okay, it is Usyk. This is just very brief for Usyk. Now, he's a Ukrainian pro boxer. He has held the unified heavyweight championship since 2025 and the Ring Magazine title since 2022. And Usyk is one of 5 people to be undisputed in 2 weight classes in the 4-bout era. 2 wins over Tyson Fury, one of the other standout heavyweights in this era. So Usyk at cruiserweight, but yeah, that was at heavyweight. Light heavyweight, Roy Jones again. He was the light heavyweight for all time and light heavyweight for now. So we're gonna go on past Roy. We did him in the he was super middleweight on the other one, but light heavyweight for the past 25 years. But we talked about Roy. Let's keep moving. Junior middleweight, SOG, Andre Ward. SOG. There's SOG. Super middleweight. Last 25 years, Andre Ward. Now, he was America's last male to win Olympic gold, winning the medal at light heavyweight in the 2004 Summer Olympics in Athens, right? I think no male has won it since then. Clarissa won it, but no, we haven't had no gold since 90? 2008, right? When SOG won it. 2004, Athens. Now heading into the Super 6 World Boxing Classic tournament, he was the dark horse and didn't have much fanfare behind him. In a tournament that featured Mikkel Kessler, Carl Froch, Arthur Abraham, and Jermaine Taylor, many believed it would be an uphill battle for SOG. Not only did he prevail as the champion of the tournament, he dominated his opposition, right? If Floyd and Manny hadn't been around, Ward would have been the clear-cut #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, right? But Manny and Floyd wasn't around. After the Super 6, he dominated Chad Dawson and Edwin Rodriguez. He stopped Dawson in round 10, and he won a wide unanimous decision over Rodriguez in 2013. He left no stones unturned at super middleweight, proving he stood alone in a division that was certainly not talent-laden. Now, due to promotional disputes with the late Dan Goossen, Ward remained inactive until 2015. Then he decided to move up to light heavyweight and defeated Sergey Kovalev twice before making an early retirement announcement the next year. SOG, super middleweight. Middleweight, Bernard Hopkins. These are the best fighters in these divisions in the last 25 years. Bernard Hopkins at middleweight. B-Hop. Bernard Hopkins is the epitome of longevity in a sport that can end fighters' careers in an instant. He compiled 20 consecutive middleweight world title defenses, a record Gennady Golovkin tied later on, okay? But he was unable to break it against Canelo Alvarez. Hopkins is the first fighter to simultaneously hold titles from all four major sanctioning bodies, IBF, WBO, WBC, and WBA. He was the first one to be undisputed in the four-belt era. His best wins at 160 were against Felix Trinidad, Oscar De La Hoya, and William Joppy. Despite losing his undisputed middleweight crown to Jermaine Taylor in 2005, he did the unimaginable by becoming one of the best light heavyweights in his era while fighting in his 40s. Okay, B-Hop, the best at middleweight. Okay, let's move along. Junior middleweight for the last 25 years, the Winkster, Winky Wright. Okay, Winky Wright. Oh, he's talking about the Welsh. He's talking about Kozaki. That was what 160. I don't know why he wasn't in there. Because was that 168, right? That's a good question, T. Hill. That is a very good question. I never thought about that before. But Winky at junior middleweight, Winky Wright, 154. Ronald Winky Wright, for the longest time, I never knew what his first name was. Till like about 2 years ago, I thought it was Winky. Now that's a nickname when people don't even know what your first name is. But Ronald Winky Wright never lost a fight throughout the 2000s at 154. Most notably, he defeated Sugar Shane Mosley twice in 2004. The first time by unanimous decision, and the second by majority decision. After defeating Mosley twice, he immediately faced Puerto Rican star Felix Trinidad in 2005 and won by unanimous decision. Oscar De La Hoya never fought Winky at 154, and many believe Wright would have won that fight. He was the most avoided fighter at 154 throughout the early 2000s, featuring a style that was very difficult to outbox. Winky was a tricky southpaw, being very accurate and had very good timing, you know. He also had great defense. He rated as high as number 2 on the ring pound for pound rankings and was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame, okay? And Winky had that high guard, man. He could cover his head and his body. When the high guard tried to bring the hands down by going to the body, try to get your hands up to go to that body. But Winky in the high guard, he couldn't get the head or body. That's not he had the reach, massive reach. Welterweight, last 25 years, Money Mayweather, Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, Floyd won 12 world titles in 5 separate weight classes, and is most well known for his impeccable performances at welterweight. His best wins at welterweight were against Manny Pacquiao, Shane Mosley, Ricky Hatton, Zab Judah, and Marcos Maidana. His defense remained impenetrable, causing great frustration in each of his opponents, right? Before every major fight, Fighters Camp claimed to possess the Mayweather blueprint, but failed to crack the Mayweather code. That he didn't have the blueprint. Floyd claimed that he is the best fighter ever. That's what he's supposed to say, right? But that is a stretch, considering the sport's rich history. Although he may be the best defensive fighter of all time, he might not even be that. We just talked about Willie Pep, Sweet Pea, Nicolino Loche. all arguably number one defensively. Now, Floyd holds the record for the 3 highest grossing pay-per-view events of all time. And I think he's in 4 of the top 5. The other one was Tyson and somebody. Yeah. But the 3 highest grossing events of all time was Floyd. Okay? Pacquiao, Conor McGregor, and Canelo. Okay? Junior welterweight is Bud Crawford. Bud Crawford, okay? Bud Crawford. Terrence Crawford. Okay. Yeah. Terrence Crawford. There he is. Him and Earl Spence. Now, Bud has held 18 major world championships across 5 weight classes. He was undisputed champion at junior welterweight, welterweight, and super middleweight. In September 2025, he retained his WBO title with a TKO of Shawn Porter. Well, that wasn't 2020, that was a few years ago in Las Vegas. Okay. And then he beat Earl Spence. He beat Julius Ndongo at junior welterweight to become undisputed. And every fight at welterweight was a knockout. He beat the other top welterweight, Earl Spence, dominated him. A lot of people say Earl wasn't 100%, but that wasn't Bud's fault, because Bud damn sure was 100%. Okay, and then he went up to 154. Didn't look his best in his fight at 154, but got the job done. Then he went to 168 and gave an incredible performance. Made a believer out of a lot of people who didn't give him a chance, like me. Right? I didn't give Bud a chance in that one, but he made a believer out of me with that one. Now that's the technical definition of pound for pound right there. Stepping up 3 weight classes and giving that kind of performance. Got to give it to Bud for pound, right? That's the definition of it. You know, jumping from 147 to 168 with one fight at 154 and then dominating like that. Yeah. Lightweight for the last 25 years, Juan Manuel Marquez. Juan Manuel Marquez. Here he is, Juan Manuel. I'm going to go fast forward these. I'll just put a name on there. Super featherweight, 126. 130, Vasyl Lomachenko. These are the best in these divisions in the past 25 years. Featherweight, because I want to get some late time in a minute. 126, Chris John. Okay? Then we go to 122, junior featherweight. Over the last 25 years, give it to Manny at junior featherweight. Okay, because Manny went through like 50 weight division. Pick one. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Junior featherweight for Manny. Featherweight. Wait a minute. Huh? Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Bantamweight, 118. Is Shinsuke Yamanaka. Shinsuke Yamanaka, 118. 115 is best in the past 25 years. The Monster. Naoya Inoue, 115. Okay? And then we have 112 for the past 25 years. Flyweight, Choco Latito. He could have been 112 or 115, but Monster was 115. So Choco Latito is 125. 112. Flyweight. 108, junior flyweight, Donnie Nietes. And finally, last 25 years, the best minimum weight has been, oh my goodness, Juan Hang Menayota. Okay? One hand Menayota. And y'all say, what the hell did the cat say? This is what I said right here. WANHENG. I know y'all don't know what that name was I just said. I don't even know what I said, to be honest with you. Him. He's the number one minimum weight, 105 of the last 25 years. I ain't gonna say it again. Read it for yourself. Okay? Oh, Mike said he just saw the face off and Haney is in trouble. Oh man. Damn. Oh man. Okay, one more thing before we go to the link. I just want to talk about some of the fighters that make the best adjustments in boxing. These are some of the fighters that make the best adjustments in boxing history. You need a face of this. No, how did he get up? There's Bud. Yeah, these some fighters that make the best adjustments. Okay. In boxing. Now, boxers famous for making great fight adjustments include Terrence Crawford, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, Roy Jones Jr., Manny Pacquiao, George Foreman, and Muhammad Ali, who could adapt their style mid-fight to their opponent's tactics and the circumstances. Okay? Terrence Crawford, known for his ring IQ, he can switch stances mid-fight, making precise adjustments to find weaknesses in his opponent's strategy. A notable example, when he switched stances against Yuriorkis Gamboa to turn the fight in his favor. Sugar Ray Leonard is talking about some great fighters make great ring adjustments during fights. And then we're going to get the link after that. Sugar Ray Leonard. He famously adjusted his strategy against Roberto Duran in their second and third fight after losing the first fight. Roberto Duran, while often known for his aggressive style, his fast footwork and ability to move in and out of range quickly allowed him to adjust his approach during fights. Roy Jones Jr. His versatility and adaptability were key to his success across multiple weight classes, showcasing a unique ability to adjust his strategy and dominate opponents. Manny Pacquiao, these are just fighters that make great adjustments. Manny Pacquiao. He was running in the face-off. Damn, that's bad, Mike. It's the face-off and the man already running. Wow. Damn. He shouldn't even went to Saudi Arabia. He should have just stayed home. Damn. Manny Pacquiao. His agility and footwork enabled him to rapidly switch between defensive and offensive moves, making him a difficult opponent to plan for. Big George Foreman, yeah, he made some good adjustments. Big George, yeah. His ability to pivot, slide, and cut off the ring allowed him to adapt his strategy and cut off his opponent's escape route. Muhammad Ali. His fighting style and incredible dancing ability were a part of his unique method of adjusting to his opponent and controlling the fight. Gene Tunney had signature wins over Jack Dempsey, whom he outboxed after having his own plans thwarted, showing his ability to adapt on a huge stage. Juan Manuel Marquez, considered by many as one of the greatest responsive fighters ever, known for adapting to what his opponents threw at him in real time. Canelo Alvarez. I don't even know what that word is, and I wrote it down. Oh, okay. Canelo Alvarez. Praised for his impeccable timing and ability to counterpunch, which forces his opponents to be gun shy, showing adaptability in his tactics. Tyson Fury. I'm glad when I finished this. It's like chicken scratch. Yeah, Mike said Devin was running in the face-off. Tyson Fury can switch stances mid-fight and adapt his strategy due to his exceptional agility and footwork, making him a top boxer in the modern era. And finally, was Alexander Usyk, known for being able to land the punches he wants to, which shows his ability to adjust to an opponent's movement and position. Okay, that's bad. That's over. Okay. Okay. Let's see what y'all talking about. Yeah. Yeah, I wrote that late at night. I was had falling asleep and stuff. How's everybody? Mike said Devin was running already at the face-off. Golly, man, that's bad. Wow. I picked it, but I ain't got no money on it. No. I have to watch that. I'm gonna have to watch that. Wow. All right, the man was running at the face-off. I said he in trouble. But we're gonna see. Saturday is it. Saturday is showtime. He can run, but he can't hide. It was a song, but I forgot how it goes. What, the Supremes or somebody? I can't remember. Yeah, you can't run, but you can't hide, or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, we did have another thing, but it's almost 2:30, 3:30. Yeah, I had something on the hardest punches in the lower weight classes. Because we was talking about them yesterday, remember? And Carlos Durante, 95.4% career knockout ratio. He had 66 wins, and 63 of them was by knockout. Incredible. Wilfredo Gomez was another one that could punch down there in them low weight classes. Yeah. Pay Pintor. Okay, what's up? You fine, all right?
How you doing, Cass?
Okay, I'm doing pretty good.
Awesome. Man, there's a pro box card tomorrow. I didn't even realize it.
You know anybody good on it?
We got Royman Villa versus Francisco Verón from Argentina. I don't know. Let's see if Royman Villa still got like one more run left in him. We'll see.
Yeah.
Um,
Tomorrow, Friday. Okay.
yeah,
So,
over in the YouTube.
so it's Friday the regular day now for Pro Box. I know they was Wednesday one time and Thursday and
Yes.
on any time now. Keep switching around now. I haven't caught it in a while.
Yeah,
Pro Box.
I've seen them on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. So but lately it's been Fridays. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's like Pro Box. You see some good stuff on there. That's where I first saw Keyshawn's brother, and Bomac was on there a couple of times. The oldest one. I mean, I think the middle one.
I don't know if that's Keon,
the one that
Keon or Kelvin.
Calvin. That's the one
Okay.
Albright beat, right? Calvin, when all that mess started, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. I've seen him on Pro Box a couple of times. Yeah, Calvin. Mm-hmm.
Also, Lester Martinez is gonna fight in Pro Box. That's gonna be like in February or something. But
Lester Martinez in Pro Box?
yeah, because remember, and Billy declined the rematch and went after Munguia instead. You know,
And he's on Pro Box?
he's gonna fight. His next fight is gonna be on Pro Box. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Man. Yeah, I guess if Billy didn't want to go through that again, that was a tough fight. You got to take like a couple years in between fights like that. But all of Billy fights like that, but not that tough. Because Martinez was just firing right back, you know. So yeah. I don't think what's his name? Oscar's fighter. Munguia gonna be able to stand up under that. Nah. What you think about that one? Billy
And Billy gonna probably run over him.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think Munguia gonna let he can't stand there like Martinez did and go toe to toe with him. No way. Was that 12? Isn't Billy an interim champion or something? I think it was 12.
I believe he is actually. I believe he is.
I remember that fight being 12 rounds. Yeah.
And Billy and Resendez are both interim champions.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. You know?
Yeah, 168. I wonder how Bud would fare against Billy.
Say that again?
Bud, I wonder how he would do against Billy to keep him at bay, you know. He got the gas tank and stuff to be able to move him, you know. Maneuver for 12 rounds. Bud and Billy. Like, how you think that would go?
I'm sorry, who went in Billy?
Terrence Crawford.
Nah, Crawford will figure it out. Crawford's not gonna have any trouble with that.
Okay. Yeah.
And Billy, I'm not a fan, but beyond that, I find him very limited. You know.
Yeah, that's true. But you gotta have a good gas tank and stuff too. Be able to stay with us for 12 rounds. You're gonna have to maneuver and all that kind of stuff. 12 rounds, he's gonna be coming from Billy is, you know, the whole time.
Exactly.
You know.
But we'll give me a few minutes. I'll jump back in. Okay, I just gotta do something real quick. I'll jump back in. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we had the lower weight. Let's look at that. The lower weight. The hardest punches down there in the lower weight classes. It's 334. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, Big George Foreman. Them knockouts don't just come. You got to set them up there, you know. Although you still got all that power, but you in there against top, and they was always in there against top competition. Wasn't no pushovers, you know. But Joe Frazier, that wasn't too hard because Joe Frazier was always right there, coming right in front of him. You know where Joe Frazier gonna be at, right there, coming. Who is the greatest punchers in the smaller weight classes. Let's see. Who is okay? Where's the thing at? Oh, there we go. What's up, Thomas?
Kaz, what's good with you, man?
No, not a whole lot.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Well, like I say, man, hell of a list you compiled.
Yeah.
The only exception that I got, like, so we're talking greatest of all time.
Right.
That embodies everything.
Yeah, that's a lot. You know. Thomas Hill went out on me. He'll be back.
My bad. My phone be tripping at times, bro. It do things. If I'm not touching the screen, it'll just go to the dark.
Yeah.
And I can hear.
But all the time. That's a lot, right?
Yeah, I said that all time comes into everything comes into consideration. So that means career comes into consideration. So Harry Greb definitely has the greater career out of he and Marvin Hagler, but in the ring, nah, Greb not got. He don't have nothing for Hagler. Nothing for Hagler. I believe Hagler definitely wins that fight, and I don't think that it would be even that much of a difficult fight for him. Now, I could be wrong. Greb could have given him a look. He was tough, and he definitely found ways to pull fights out, even though he went through some grueling matches, and he would beat on folks. No doubt about that. But my man, Hagler, he was nice, man. You had to be special to get him, and you had to get him out of his mindset. So Greb would have to be special. Go ahead.
They had a long title reign too, you know. Like
well, Greb though. I mean, you can't. Like I said, if we going by everything, then it's definitely Greb. I think also
it was hard. That's a hard one though, you know. Yeah,
I mean, not if you're going. If you're going all time, and you taking everything, all points considered, then you would go Greb because Greb is more decorated. Mm-hmm. He accomplished more. But you know, I'm just saying in the ring. I feel the same way with Pryor. I think Pryor in the ring.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
And then there is, you know, the weights below where we talk about lightweight.
Yeah.
Welterweight and those such. You know, I can't argue with that, but Henry Armstrong would have a whole lot to say about all those divisions.
Put it all of them.
All those divisions. And I would like him.
Welterweight,
I would like him against Arguello. I would love him against Arguello. Him and Duran would be a hell of a fight.
Yeah, man.
That would be a hell of a fight, man. You know, and that would have been a hell of a fight.
That would be
the only thing that I mean, see the thing about Pryor is because he was with Panama, so you know he gets a lot of things taken from him, and it felt like he was on stuff.
Right, exactly.
So you know, and you know that fight with Arguello just proves the fact that, you know, they felt like he was on something because Arguello was hitting his ass with everything, and he would get stronger, it seemed. But you know, I don't know, man. I think that Pryor is a heck of a talent that never gets his just due. Henry Armstrong definitely is that guy. I think he is if you had a definition of underrated for boxing, you would have to put his picture there.
Henry would be up there when you talk underrated. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
He should be a name, man, for what he did, you know.
Definitely. But so would, like you said, Ricardo Lopez. I mean, because he never gets the credit that he's deserved.
I know. He was at like 105. Yeah. If he was like 130, he would be a household name too.
They figured there are not a lot of people down there, so you know it's easy to dominate if you're just good. So he gets that unfortunately cage around him. And then there is, what other one did you say that Oh yeah, I was having a conversation with Irishman. Shout out to the Irishman, man, because and shout out my man Irony, because it's Irony favorite boxer. But my man conveniently retired when they was putting together that Super Six.
Who is that? Kozaki?
Yeah.
Well, that's what you was asking me why wasn't
he why wouldn't he get up in there, man? He could have showed if he was as great as he say he was.
That
and how they say he was. That was the perfect idea. You whoop all them.
Right. They had all the names was in there,
Yeah, and then in that
Abraham, they were all in it.
And all those people that was on his side. Yeah. No, absolutely. Everybody that's on his side of the pond was in there too. Abraham.
Mikhail Kessler was in there.
Well, I think he got Kessler. I think he fought Kessler at the end.
Oh, he did fight him.
Yeah. It wasn't the Kessler that was like wrecking shop. I mean, that's the thing, and that's what Irishman said, and that's what a lot of people say regarding him, man. It's like his toughest matches came when these people were not. They were shells of their former selves. They weren't there.
100% correct. Especially Roy and B-Hop. He waited till the end of both of their careers to come over and fight.
Well, like I say, with B-Hop, I honestly, man, I don't think
B-Hop still beat him.
Yeah, I don't think he lost that fight at all. I don't. I look at that fight and I was pissed because, I'm not a very big B-Hop fan, but I am a fan of boxing, though. When you go into hostile territory and you control the fight,
like that,
how do you lose the fight?
Wasn't he in the 40s then, too?
Man, and that's why I say that 40-year-old B-Hop gave him fits. Then Prime Roy, when Roy didn't have all that nonsense going on with the first thing you said, what now?
I said that wouldn't even been close. Prime Roy, man. I'm talking about prior to the stoppage, because the stoppage. When they took the fight away from him, that fudged his whole mindset up. Because in his mind, he was going to go for the record. I'm going to go undefeated. I'm beating everybody. But you took that away from me. So now I got to figure out a way to separate myself. And this is how he thinks. So he started figuring out ways he could separate himself. So going all the way up to heavyweight. I could go all the way up there and scale up there and fight. Now, granted, he did pick the easier touch at heavyweight, but he did go to heavyweight and beat somebody who's a much bigger person than he is. He was the champion when he beat him, right?
He came all the way back down, and you can't put the weight on and then take that weight off, because he didn't put on fat. He put on muscle. You can't take muscle off so quickly and then go back and fight. Then there was the fact that, he was a shell of his former self, man. And, he took that beating. He gave him a beating, though, because like you said, it ain't another fighter's fault when they go into the ring not prepared. Because when you go in that ring, you're saying you are ready to do your business in that ring. But unfortunately, he got
some memory. He come in there to beat you up.
Yeah.
Got to shake you in. Once he start fighting, his memory gonna kick in, and he gonna be punching him.
Yeah. So I don't have a discrepancy. It's unfortunate, like you said, that people like Charles Burley could never get mentioned because people didn't want to fight him. We don't know what he could have been and where he ranked against folks.
Yeah. A lot of people call him the best they ever fought. Eddie Futch. Eddie Futch.
Yeah, Eddie Futch trained a lot of great fighters, man. So, if he says something, you got to give some kind of credibility to it because he's speaking from a place of experience.
Sugar Ray Robinson wouldn't fight him.
Nah, he didn't want no parts of him.
They was right there in the same era, the same weight class and everything. But he never fought him.
And it's amazing that certain people get the looks and certain people don't. Why Sugar Ray Robinson get the look, but your boy Charles Burley can't? Like it could only be at that time one person of color that they was gonna promote. Was it a one person?
And that one win would have propelled him into total greatness. Just that one win over Sugar Ray Robinson.
Yeah.
Then he would be remembered totally different right now.
Yeah.
One fight, could change your whole life around.
Yeah, with some great fighters though, man. You know, and unfortunately, a lot of times, a lot of them don't get their true recognition, and sometimes some of them get overlooked.
That's still going on nowadays.
Oh
Look at
man,
Andrade, how he got ducked. You know,
So-
Canelo, Triple G. If he would have got them fights and beat them, look how he would be looked at.
So we just spoke about 3 possible fights that could have taken place. 5 possible fights that could have taken place, but did not. One was because of somebody was killed in an accident, but the others, they were there to take the place. They didn't never get called ducks.
Right, that's right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to fully believe now that duck is a term that is applied for PBC. Like if a fighter of the PBC don't fight somebody, they are a duck for the most part. And it's not even questionable. They ducked. But you see time and time again, these certain fights just don't get made.
You never
And
hear
that
that.
don't necessarily mean that the fighters didn't want to make them. It just means the business didn't add up or line up or whatever the case may be. But it's always going to be blamed on the fighter. For sure.
And there's reasons that we'll never even know what the reason was. You know, we're not in the negotiations and meetings and stuff they have. We don't know what happened about the fight.
And you know, honestly, I'm not into particular. To me, now I can understand in a day and age where money greatly hangs on the balance of whether or not people feel like you're promotable or not. Where it's the time of investment, so you probably don't want to suffer the look because you see what they're doing with Devin Haney. You just mentioned it. You know, calling somebody a duck or something like that, or calling somebody washed or damaged goods. These things are what we now apply to fighters on a daily basis. And a lot of these people that's applying these terms never actually been a fighter.
I know.
And that's the crazy part about it.
They don't get to call nobody no duck.
Man, I refuse to call people now. This is crazy because it affects these people now because they use that. The people that make these fights use what they hear out there.
I know.
To further propagate reasons why they don't put fights together. But for the most part, it's not really the fighters. There are certain cases, but I say this and I say this with respect. There was an interview being conducted, and a question of a person who was known for putting together fights was asked by a fighter, and they asked, and this person stuttered and stammered a lot, but they forget the fact that in every interview, that's the pattern in which he talks. He always talks like if he's stuttering or stammering or trying to find the right words to say. Now, this person asked this person, what part of your career are you in? Because, you know, there's some parts of your careers where people are just totally relying upon the people that handle them to make their fights. Then there's some who they pass along information to fights that they might be interested in and see what they think about it. And then there's some who sit down and say, no, this is who I'm fighting next, or this is who I want to fight. Get that right. And he said, what stage of your career are you in?
Yeah.
Because he said, you have been contacted. Your people have been contacted about fights, but you have no idea about this. So where are you at in your career? And people took that as, oh, he's lying, he's twisting it up, he's stuttering. See, he never did that much. Man, if you look at all his videos, when he ain't even getting talked about fights, he's over there still talking like that. That's just the pattern of speech that he has in front of cameras. Maybe he's just not so comfortable. And maybe he wants to say the right words. And because he's doing that, he's trying to find them as he's speaking. But you pass over the context of the fact that the fighter wasn't aware that even these things were being talked about.
Wow. So how can he be a duck?
How can he be a duck?
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. I know one thing. For the most part, they're not scared to get in the ring because that's what they do.
They've been doing it since they was little kids. Why would they all of a sudden be scared? You know?
They're not scared of that. Now, I do believe some of them are hesitant to take certain looks because they might be bad, but I don't believe they're afraid.
Yeah. Yeah, I go with that hesitant because of certain not scared. And you put the right money up there, they don't care how it look, they're gonna get in there.
Yeah, and for the right package. And that's why I'm saying a lot of times people are offering that they're looking for that severance package. Because if I suffer a bad look and then all of a sudden people start going about this, he's a bum, I don't want to see him, then I lose my market value. And if I lose my market value, I lose my reach, my scope. So now I can't do the things that I should be able to do because of this fight. And I think that's what it boils down to.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
What's up with you, Iron?
That's exactly what it is. Though.
How you doing, fellas? How you fine gentlemen doing? Awesome. What you guys talking about?
Oh man, talking about the all-time great list, man, and some of the fights that unfortunately did never get made, even though they could have been made.
Yeah, but see, we never know why.
Yeah, you never know why. You're not sitting down.
Ducked him and all that kind of
like
stuff.
For example,
I go back a ways, like Alexis Aguero and Roberto Duran never got made. Everybody was damn well, but neither one of them scared.
That never got made.
And no one of them, they wasn't scared of nobody, neither one of them.
Pryor Leonard never got made. The rematch between Hagler Hearns never got made, and they were setting up for the rematch.
Yeah. Now you know one that really pisses me off. One that really pisses me off is Manny Pacquiao and Edwin Valero. Manny Pacquiao and Edwin Valero.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they did. They didn't. Valero. It might have happened, but then he had all them problems. And
he went to jail and
but it happened before that because they both were promoted.
I think so.
But it should have happened before that.
That would have been an unbelievable fight.
Yeah. But Barbara had something, he was probably saving it or something. A lot of times, like T.O. said, it's the promoter. You did decide. Exactly. And a perfect example of a promoter getting in the way, Don King. Don King is the reason why Chavez and Trinidad never happened. Yeah, it sure is. Yeah. What's the story behind that one, you find out? Chavez and Trinidad.
I mean, I heard Trinidad spoke about it in a recent interview. He said that he wanted to fight him, and my goodness, what a fight was that been. The most beloved Mexican fighter against the most beloved Puerto Rican fighter. My goodness.
Would have been a little older, a little past the prime, wouldn't it? Around that time.
I would say for sure. But I mean, he still fought De La Hoya, so not once but twice.
No fought Oscar. Yeah.
But if I gotta make an assessment of that, I would say that Don King chose to just make money with the two of them separately instead of having them fight and then one of them loses and
Yeah, Don King was smart. He thought like that.
Yeah.
T.O. was just saying that you lose a certain fight, then you lose your market value. So Don King was making keep both of them winning, keep them apart, making money off of both of them. Because the promoter lose money too when the fighter's market value go down, right?
I mean, it makes sense business-wise, but then us as fans, we get the short end of the stick,
Yeah, that would have been a good one to see, though.
Oh my goodness, are you kidding? Chavez versus Trinidad? I'd pay whatever you ask me. I would pay.
To see that. I think about some of the fights that didn't happen, how much they would be if they fought in their prime, like a Roberto Duran or Alexis Aguero. How much would they make now if they fought in their prime, man? A fight like that, or Sugar Ray and Hearns.
And Alexis Aguero is one of my favorite.
Prices is nowadays, like 50 million.
For sure.
Think about that sometime.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, for sure. The fight I wanted is. Oh, go ahead. My bad, Cass. Go ahead.
T-Hill. I was,
No. Say what you were saying.
I was just saying that all this money that's involved in these fights, boxing nowadays stops a lot of fights too. You know.
Well, yeah, because of the fact that you got to realize the people that are in the ring are making only a fraction of what's being made outside the ring.
Yeah.
So these people are not trying to mess up their investment because they're looking at them as it's like horse racing or greyhound racing, you know, hound racing or anything that
I'll be on mute for a while, guys.
Okay, bet. So these things, we don't view them on our level. We view that we can make merchandise of them. We can make money off of them. We can virtually use them as commerce. And that's the thing, because they'll view that thing. It's like, all right, well, if this is my top money maker, then I'm not going to put them in a situation where I don't make no more money off of them.
Right.
And sometimes, you know, the love ain't genuine. When you got a fighter like a Sugar Ray Leonard, the love is genuine. Win, lose, or draw. You know what? We people gonna want to see him. They endeared to him. A lot of these people are manufactured, and it'd be crazy the people that they say are manufactured just because they hate on them or they hate the people they associated with. But you can actually see people manufacture. Man, when people mimic everything that someone else did, that's manufactured. When people are just naturally themselves and what you see in the ring is a product of their originality, that's something people get behind.
Right.
And people somehow along the way, in the time of copycats, if you listen to all the music, they all sound alike nowadays. You know what? If you look at the phone, they got a trend, all of them doing the same thing. We live in a copycat society. So anything that copies the cat, they're with. The thing that bucks the trend, oh, that's fake. And that's where we are right now in boxing. It's a lot of people who see genuine talent, genuine real deal stuff. Oh, it's fake. But the copy stuff, the machine stuff, oh, that's the stuff that they want to pump. That's the stuff they get behind. Yeah. And then there is the age-old adage that we come in peace, and sometimes we're not welcome at all in the same fashion. And some people just not welcome to be there.
Yes.
So with that being the case, man, you know, I would have loved to see a certain fights get made. There are certain fights. I would have liked to see Tyson fight a lot of folks that he didn't fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I would love to see a lot of folks that Gervonta ain't fight yet that should be made. You know, I would love to see Shakur in there with certain folk. Devin in there with certain folk. Benavidez in there with certain folk. Canelo in there with certain folk. Man, I would have loved to see Pryor versus Leonard.
I know.
What's going on, Jimmy? Now that fight right there, my fight of all time that I would have loved to have seen made.
Pryor and
I got this. Yeah, I loved me some. My mom was a huge Sugar Ray Leonard fan. Yeah. I was a big Aaron Pryor fan. I loved Aaron Pryor. You know, I thought that if they would have got together, it would have been a special moment. We would have really seen how good each fighter is. And, you know, unfortunately, we were robbed of that moment. I would have loved to seen the real rematch between Hagler and Hearns, especially given the fact that Hearns was hurt. Yeah. And on top of that, spent because his coach had him running doing sprints, doing 50 sprints in the dang beach the night before. Yeah, I should say afternoon, the afternoon before the fight. So you know,
and Hearns could box, you know.
Yeah, he could box, and Hagler definitely could box. You can't go in the ring.
You know?
Okay, I'm back now.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a big factor, his legs in that fight, you know.
Yeah, his legs, he was gonna need them because you know. Go ahead.
This is my problem when people start focusing on one fighter and why he didn't fight this guy, why he didn't fight that guy, because when you go down the list, 98% of legends out there have the same problem if you really look at it.
Yeah, we were going over all of them. Like from Floyd got some fights he could have fought. He could have fought Paul Williams.
Yeah.
But see, the thing about it is Paul Williams himself came out and said, nah, Floyd ain't never ducked me. He could have fought Winky Wright. But Winky Wright ain't never came out and said he ducked me. But
No.
it could be now because, you know, people say people duck. You got people who actually get contracted to fights, pull out of fights, and they're not a duck. But fights that never were even spoken of in contract talks become ducks. That's crazy to me.
It is.
Right, and just because a fight doesn't happen doesn't mean you can put the blame on somebody willy nilly like that.
We don't know what happened.
Absolutely.
In the negotiations.
Absolutely. Because I'm gonna be.
When there was in talks and stuff. You know?
Or you could have already went to contract with it, then suffered an injury. I'm not going in there if I'm injured, man, and take a chance on getting pummeled to death. Nah, I'm gonna pull out.
Look at Earl.
So
He should have been at 54, but he went in there and fought anyway. Look what happened to him.
yeah, exactly.
Fighters, they think like that. I'm not going in there if I'm not right. You know,
So
that's not ducky.
So yeah, you know, I don't know. Duck just gets thrown around way too much. There are some instances where people do look like they have ducked, but there have been instances, like I said, where people have absolutely pulled out of fights.
I like
And
the
then-
other word you used to hear, hesitant. Like you said,
Yeah.
hesitant. I like that
Yeah.
better than duck. You know?
Yeah, it's just not a good look. Sometimes it's not a good look. Sometimes the business don't line up. Sometimes, you know what? If I put this out there and this product isn't testing true, tried and true, or absolutely proven, like there are very few people that, you know what, Pacquiao's. There's very few Pacquiao's that, no matter if they win or not, people rocking with them.
Yeah, they're not gonna lose that market value no matter what happens.
And in this day and age, like I said, more
The
times
same
than
for
not.
Trinidad. That's
No,
what
but
the
when
USA fans need to get back to. You know, like Trinidad, we rock with Trinidad, win, lose or draw. Mexicans rock with Chavez, win, lose or draw. Y'all need to rock with your folks and win, lose or draw, bro. Like in general. I'm not talking about you guys, obviously, but in general, you know.
Yeah, no. But see, the thing is, like, this is relatively new, and I'm saying that it's new like this because of the people that we are amongst. These generation, whatever they are a copycat society. They like what the machine puts out there. They like what people should be told to do. That's why you see a lot of challenges, a lot of things, the same thing of people making videos with the same music, doing something similar. Like they like stuff that's copycat. They don't like originality no more. They don't like organic stuff. They don't like things that are different. And you can tell. And that's what,
Plus they don't go back in history and learn from it. You know, which is another problem.
Yeah, they don't. You know, a lot of people don't research them.
Yeah.
They just it's
Watching.
fact. You know?
I tell young people all the time, like, watch old movies, listen to old songs, you know, like learn how the world was before, because it'll give you some surefire perspective, bro.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. And you can see that there, man, bro. When you get sick, you're not at your best. That's not a win for you. But it's how you move through the sickness that shows the true caliber of who you are. You ride the bike and you fall against a pavement or against a fence. That's not a win for you.
No.
But if you go ahead, Cass.
If you get sick, wake up sick that morning, you take off work, right? So why should a fighter get in the ring if he's not 100%? That's his job. So it's okay for him to take off without being called a duck. Because he wasn't 100% going into that fight, you know. Any other job does that. Why can't a fighter do it?
Nah, that's true. And then, like, what if you're just not feeling well, but you do fight and you don't look good? That don't necessarily mean that that's who you are. But in this day and age, that's what you are. You are what you last put out there.
Start calling you trash. You knew you was never anything.
That's a fact. That's a
Yeah.
But in real life, it's not that way.
That's why fighters work. them give us all the fights we want, you know, because they here, they be on Twitter and stuff, seeing what people saying about them, you know. Like in the old days, they didn't have that, so, you know, fighters can just, you know, you can connect straight with the fans nowadays.
Yeah, so man, that's why you know it's kind of discouraging, man, because you know these people do something that most people can't do, and don't even have the discipline to get in the ring to do.
Life on the line too.
Put their lives on the line, compete at a level that they don't understand with competition, and they're the duck, they're garbage, they're trash.
That's something.
But the way that we fan, oh, it's the ideal way of fanning.
Yeah. It's just
So yeah.
Yeah. Artie made a good point. So yeah, people.
Oh yeah, he always makes good points.
Stuff, you know, they hear somebody say something enough times, they take it as a fact. There's so many people saying it still don't have to be true. All these people can be wrong. Research it for yourself, right?
Absolutely.
That happens in boxing a lot in these YouTube streets. People keep hearing somebody else say something, and then they hear it enough. They take it as fact. They like, well, Boots stopped. Enough people say it, then everybody stopped. Well, Boots stopped. Because they hear so many different channels saying it. They're going looking at and none of these channels actually know what happened. But none of them in the negotiations or nothing. They don't know what happened.
That's another thing. Like affiliation, whether it's misguided or actually true, it plays a place in how you get labeled in these day and age.
Yeah.
So because he has a close relationship with Showtime, they categorized him with PBC.
Yeah.
And everything that is against PBC, they go with. Like, you know Boxing Hacker, right? Cat Sports?
Yeah.
I know Define Irons. I only mention him because of this. Whenever anything that is anti-PBC is being spoken of or takes place, it's always the best. It's always to be believed. It's always true. It never needs the burden of proof. But anything that is PBC, whether it's taking place or it's being spoken of or it is speaking, that's not true. It needs to be had the burden of proof, and you know it's a farce. And you know, I sat back and I just listened to every single time he spoke. Whenever it was something that is a direct opposition to them, oh, it's true. It's to be believed. So case in point, Bill Haney never tells a lie. He's always truthful. He never embellishes stuff. It's always point of fact.
Man, lie for a living.
Meanwhile, somebody that's representing a publicly traded entity, he gets out there and he can't tell you no lies. He's got to give you the truth. He's a liar. He ain't telling the truth. You believe?
You kind of dangled up. Couldn't hear you, Define, Arnie.
No, I'm just saying it's related to the Hagen. Yeah, you got it. Okay, I'm sorry. Never mind me. I'm going mute for a second. I'm just
You good now. You good.
Oh, okay.
You said what now?
I was just saying that. I was saying that I swear to you, bro, that guy gotta be related to the Hames, bro. I swear. Like he gets under D1 school every single time, bro. Yeah,
he's talking about Boxing Hackers. But it's not just them. It's anything that goes against the PBC. So you know, I call this certain group the Collective, and they are Andre Ward, Bud Crawford, Shakur Stevenson, Ray Ford, and Clarissa Shields. Everything they speak, it's in direct opposition to the PBC or its fighters. And anytime they chronicle any PBC fighter or the PBC event, they always got doubts, questions, and suspicions about it. But they can do whatever, and it's accepted. You know what I'm saying? They say, well, Shakur Stevenson's one of the future GOATs. He's the greatest of all time. But yet they'll talk about somebody that's on the same course as him, but they ain't part of them. And we haven't seen them about anybody in this, and this applies to each and every single fighter. Just the one that they're talking about. But critique was that he ain't really fought nobody, right? Into his last 2 of 3 fights. And ironically, the 3rd fight, he didn't look so good against, and he wasn't a nobody.
Nope, he sure didn't.
But he's greatest of all time now. He's at that GOAT table. Shakur, best opponent today is Zepeda, which is a great opponent. But if Tank fights Zepeda, guess what he is? A slow, flat-footed Mexican fighter. Because he ain't fighting Shakur. So it's like that, and they do this, and they got platforms, and they have voices because they are former fighters, and they do all of this nonsense. If it's applied that way, it's applied this way, it is applied the way that you are too. So if certain fighters ain't fighting certain fighters, when your resume look like that, then guess what? That means your certain fighter that you rock with doing the same thing. How come they're not getting the criticism? How come you're speaking in a different tone towards them? And that's what it does. And that's what fan bases do too. That's why, you got a lot of people, your favorite fighter. Just recognize that most people who say your favorite fighter also have a favorite fighter. And they are part of favorite fighter syndrome because it applies heavily to 6 different fan bases in particular. Like I say, man, that's the Canelo fighters fan base, the Bud fighters fan base, the Spence fighters fan base, the Tank fighters fan base, the Devin fighters fan base, and the Shakur fighters. And they all go hand in hand with the stuff that they do and say. They let other folks that root for them make them feel ill of the fighter. I don't care what Define Irony do. He ain't gonna make me feel ill any fighter that he represents or that he likes. Because I don't know him associated with him. He's just a fan of him.
Yeah.
And I only look at fighters for what they do in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing. That's the only reason why I know them. I don't care what they do outside the ring. Now, if they're doing some despicable stuff, they need to pay for that. But what they do in the ring is why I will know them. So that's what I hold them to. There's a lot of folk, man, you know what I'm saying? They let a lot of other folks influence what they feel about a fighter that don't know these people.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
It's crazy, bro.
You hear so many people say something, they instantly start believing it. Well, they don't believe it, but they want to repeat it just because a certain person said it. Like one of them names you just named, that group, the collection. You know, a certain fan hear one of them say something, it's the gospel.
And the people that make these fights, they know this, so they use it.
Yeah, they do.
They use it, and that's how they get leverage about these fights, and how these fights ain't gonna get made or gonna get made. And that's the travesty about it, man. Because somebody got on me because I said the internet has been part of the problem with boxing. And it was like, no, the internet is good for boxing. Yeah, it can be.
That is positives and negatives.
It can be. Bro, with all due respect, a firearm can be a very powerful tool and used for good. But it also can be a device of wickedness and evil.
Yeah.
This is what this thing is. It can be a powerful thing. It can do what you're doing. Let people know about the sport of boxing, to big it up, and the people that have a part in it. You don't never throw no shade nowhere. But then there are the other folks who it's their business to come out here and talk bad about somebody, to talk down upon somebody.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's real crazy, bro.
Yeah, I heard this content creator one time was talking about this other content creator. And the other I was following both of them. The other content creator never mentioned this guy's name. And I wonder why he hates this guy so much, man. He's worrying about what he was talking about on his channel. Why you wondering about what that man talking about? Just do your own thing.
That's one thing that I've noticed on panels. That's one thing that that's the reason why I've never to some panels that I'm not gonna because First of all, I don't like being on panels where there's more than 4 people in the panel because it takes you forever to work to get a word out,
Yeah,
and
yeah, I think that's
talk 90% of the time. You know,
I
like the
think
guy
that's
that T Hill mentioned, he used to love
yeah,
95% of the time, and that's not what this is about. At the end of the day, you know.
yeah. I mean, this ain't with all due respect to people, but having them 8, 9, 10 people on your panel, that's not good. You should cut it off at a certain amount of people. 5, 6 people, cut it off, man. I look at these
Well,
shows, they got like 15 dots up there. I'm like, come on.
no, yeah, no doubt. It becomes difficult. But
Yeah.
if you're good at DJing, then you should be good at this because you got a mute button. You can hit that mute on them whenever you want to.
But then one person might think you a half hour to get to say something. That's just me. But people are different. You know? People are different.
But I do
I mean,
agree.
nothing wrong with
I do agree. It's hard to get a word in edgewise, and I'm not about to talk over nobody. If you talking, I will wait quietly until I'm called to talk.
Yeah.
There'd be a lot of times people be like, "Bro, you up here? How come you ain't saying nothing? You didn't come to me."
Right.
And no matter what I want to say, there'll be times. Sometimes I done crossed about 7 or 8 different content that I want to talk about, but
It's a
it
another
didn't.
different subject. By the time you
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I just stay cool. It's not for me to moderate the panel. It's not for me to say that person's time ain't valuable.
Right.
It's for the person who's running the panel
Mhm.
to do that. So now, if you're not doing it, I'm not going to overstep my bound and say, "Nah, hey, dog, you talking too much." Now, there are some times I do mess with certain folks, but I just do it out of jest, though. I'm only having
Right.
fun.
Right. Yeah.
Be like, "Yeah, bro, you talking too much, man. You gonna share that mic with somebody? You gonna try to hog it?
Yeah.
Your
But
opinion
yeah,
is
the
on."
internet can be positive and it can be a negative.
It can be, and that's
How
why
you use
you,
it, you know? Like,
yeah, it's how it's used, right? So we're having a lot of people use it in an improper manner, and because of so, it's used as a device to tear down folks instead of build up folks.
yeah, it is. So yeah, sometimes I can't even some shows I'm not even going to because you know it's going to be a whole bunch of nonsense
Absolutely,
once you get going.
absolutely. And there's some days where I want some entertainment. I'll go over there because I'm just listening.
But it's
I
some
want,
good shows too. Like some people get people up there they control them real good, like Jab Queen and Cam J. Now they can have people up there and they control their panels good, you know.
yeah.
Tell a person in a minute, shut the hell up. You know? And then other channels just do a terrible job. And the negative ones that want the negative, you know.
You would think that you wouldn't even have to do that though.
Shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to.
That we can all go up there and have conversation and be respectful. A lot of times people just use that to just create carnage and mayhem. But Cass, has been another great day though. I know it's time for you to go on.
Yeah.
Do your thing, man. We done already exceeded the time. I know my man Just Do was on.
Oh, the friend jumped off already too. Yeah. Yeah, it's about that time, Tina. I didn't want to end it. It was going so good, but yeah.
Oh no, we don't have to end it. If you want to keep going,
time to go. Yeah.
Because I love to talk about the list, man. The list was a great list. The thing is that with lists you compile, you leave off folks, and it would be a good topic to leave.
It's always subjective,
Yeah, and it'd be a great topic to do the names that were left off that just missed.
Right.
that was just as good, but maybe just not as accomplished.
Like
Or
to a top 5 at East Division or something, you know. Like that.
so you got this is the number one, but who follow after him to make up the top 5.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, great show, and always don't forget about that one show about
So
what
I
it takes to quit.
I'm thinking about that the other day.
Yeah, because that's gonna be a show that everybody's gonna love. That playback value gonna be priceless.
Well, that can do it.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate this, man. I appreciate you allowing me to come up and talk.
Yeah.
Great list.
That's probably what it was.
Excellent fighters. Unfortunately, there are other excellent fighters that did not make that top spot, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are not top tier or top talented. People in the chat that came through, man, we always love to see you guys here till we can talk and interact with one another. Drunk Irishman. Got nothing but love and respect for you. Irony Boxing, who graced us on the panel, man. You know, always a pleasure. Mike Rim, the Fisherman.
That's good.
You got Mike Mazik, the champ. Who else we have up in here? I think we had Al Booger, the professor. And we had Crush, Yoda Wise Crush, my man, the greatest man alive, aka the Grumpy OG, aka the master of ceremonies. Crush, the legend, man. And it's been a wonderful day. If you were not in the chat but on the show listening, we appreciate you. We would love for you to put in a comment or send a super chat. Ray Patterson, the Jersey champ. Forgot about that, brother. I know he was here. And Mrs. Kaz. But if you are listening on a playback and you enjoy what you hear, 2:00 show, he's here Monday through Friday, giving you the history of the sport of boxing. He covered it from the people who put rings up all the way to the people who put on fights, to the people who sanction it, all the way to the people who are in the ring fighting for what they sanction.
Oh, wow.
The referees, the judges,
Eating sugar?
sponsors, it don't matter. Whoever's been the big prominent
What were you eating?
force or factor in boxing, he covers it and he gives you the detail of it.
Yep.
So go on and like, go on and comment, go on and subscribe. And hopefully we see you at the next appointed time, man. Lord willing, if it be the Lord's will.
Yeah.
All together tomorrow at 2:00, we'll have another fire show for you. This is Cash Sports, the Box Story, and he's out.
Be careful with that.